What's going on, guys? Hope you had a good Thanksgiving day. We've still got this really cool event. We've actually got a bunch of cool events going on. So I figure I'll talk about the events, and then we're diving right into everything crystal assaulting, crystal defending, everything I've ever learned about attacking and keeping, and just everything crystal related. So we'll hop into that. But first, we've got another secret tier 4. If you hit that tier 3 on this Thanksgiving campaign, a tier 4 opens up. So just another heads up on that. They've been doing this a lot lately, which is kind of nice. Get a couple extra 25%ers and some mercenary rations. I'll take it. We have another cool event going on. I love this event, Giving Thanks. And it's all like a whole guild event, pretty much. Like it's solo points, but it's cool because every way to get points in this event kind of helps out your whole guild. So if you're buying packs, of course that'll help out. You can do helps, so 150 helps, and you get 150 points that way. You can reinforce 100 people, so that's another 100 points. You can trade resources, so you actually get like a benefit for giving other people resources. That's kind of cool. And there's this release a captured hero. What a lot of people have been doing for that one is they've been attacking level 15 through 19 accounts, capturing the hero, and then releasing it, and then just doing that over and over. What I've been doing is I've been attacking my main account with my farm account, and then releasing my hero that way. You can actually get that tier 3 just by doing that a bajillion times, or 334 times. I did it a little bit, but most our points actually came from the platinum gifts. Somebody was buying packs like crazy, so that helped us out. And yeah, so let's do this, guys. Crystals. So I did a lot of crystal battles yesterday. The crystal just went under. You can see I didn't end up the victor, but I did hold out really well, and I had some really good battles, really good battle reports. We're going to play one of the battles for you guys here in a little bit, and I'll show you guys all the reports too. But yeah, so I like to think of the crystal as there's kind of 3 phases to capturing and defending the crystal. There's the preparation phase, when you're deciding when should I attack, what should I attack with, everything you need to do before attacking. There's the once you captured it phase. So there's the preparation phase, there's the actual attack itself, and then there's a defending phase. So if you capture it, you then have to hold the crystal. And you have to hold it for 12 hours without it changing hands, and then you're crowned the emperor for 3 days. So that's kind of how it works. Some other little things that's important to note is you can teleport onto the scar here to be closer to the crystal. That means you'll have to use less speed ups, and you can get there a lot quicker if you're doing rallies and stuff. So a lot of people, they teleport in, capture the crystal, or go for the crystal, and then once the battle's over, then they take off. The downside of teleporting onto the scar, though, is if you're defeated, you're random ported. So like, let's say you teleport here, and then somebody attacks you, and then they defeat you. So you get random ported off of the scar anywhere into the map, and then you have to use another teleport if you want to come back. Whereas a lot of people, they're hanging out pretty close anyway, so they'll just speed up marches. And that's what a lot of people do, just so, you know, once your hero's not in your empire and your Shiva's not there, if you get somebody big rallying you, it's not too impossible for them to defeat you, unless you're just a tank with elementals and, you know, just good research and everything. But, you know, most people, even like 1.5 billion power and down, can be defeated in a rally if they don't have their hero and their Shiva. So there's that, guys. So yeah, let's break down all 3 phases. So the first phase is the preparation phase. And I always think of my my hockey teacher I used to have. He would always say there's the 5 P's. There's prior planning prevents piss poor performance. And I think that's exactly right with the crystal too. If you come in prepared, you're going to do way better. Or at least you're not going to do, well, if you're just completely outgunned, you might still do terrible, but the planning is going to help you out a ton. So what I like to do before I go in, I first try to recruit people and say, hey, I'm going to go for the crystal. Who's in? Who's going to help me out? And you need to make sure, if you're in an older realm, you need to get at least 3 or as many Shivas as you can get in your crystal. You need all of them in there, the best ones. So it's good to organize that ahead of time. Try to figure out who's going to join you for the crystal assault. If you can do it yourself, great. A lot of people can do it yourself. But yeah, I would go ahead and organize it all before signaling that you're going to attack. So before you teleport in, I would try to get it all organized ahead of time. Otherwise, they're going to have time to get their gear, reinforce it properly, do all these things. So you have the element of surprise when you're attacking the crystal. And it's good to try to utilize that as best you can. So yeah, what I would do before I teleport in is I'm going to make sure I have all my buffs active and my hero geared properly and enough marches that I could reinforce the crystal if I take it. So for me, we can go through some of the gear, and it's going to, what gear is best is going to change with time, right? Like if you're in a brand new realm, it's Arbiter or Sentinel. If you're in an older realm, it's going to be really powered up Infernian, Magitek Alpha, Hydreian, or if you have Necromantian gear, that's really good for the crystal. Those are all solid options. Pretty much it's whatever your best gear is. I think everybody kind of has a good sense of what their best attacking and defending, or at least attacking gear is. For me, it's actually, I'll just show you guys. I have it on a gear preset, which I recommend doing if you have these presets unlocked. I would definitely have an attack one for what heroes you want to use. Oh, I guess I should talk about that. What hero is best for the crystal? In my opinion, well, it's really going to vary. It's going to vary depending on what heroes you focused on, how you have them skilled. But a lot of people use Noctis still, and part of the reason for that is he's often your most leveled hero. He's often got tons of troop armor, tons of core troop buffs pretty much, and you get a little extra march size with that, which means you have a little bigger rally size and a little bit bigger reinforcement capacity. A lot of people use Ravis. If you have a good Ravis, he's got some really good skills. He's actually got quite a few skills that'll help him out in the crystal. He's going to do really good attack against warriors, mages, and cavalry. He's got his banishment HP, banishment attack, max prisoners. So if you capture a bunch of prisoners, you can get over 12 prisoner bonuses. So if you're getting 400% attack from each prisoner, and you have 12 of them, that's almost 5,000% attack from this skill. So that's a good skill. And then of course he has his crystal assault HP and crystal assault attack. So both are going to help you out quite a bit. If you don't have a high level Ravis, Gladio could work. Gladio is going to be better if you're going up against somebody that you know is a lot stronger than you. So you could use Gladio in that situation. Depending on how you have him leveled, he might be your best hero to use. You could use Urania if you're going heavy mercenary troops and heavy cavalry. She could work. What a lot of people also use is Luna. I guess I've said what a lot of people use. A lot of people use everything, guys. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, actually, a lot of people do use Luna, and part of the reason for that, she buffs mages, and so does Shiva. Shiva buffs mages. So if you have a Luna with a Shiva, that's a good combination. So she's got her mage buffing skills. She's got her crystal and titan HP, crystal and titan attack. Now these are kind of small percentages, but she does have them, so they're there. You've got an attack resistance skill, 400%. Every little bit helps. And then you got defender attack and defender HP, both good for holding the crystal. And then guardian attack and guardian HP. So those will help out too if you're stocking the crystal with guardians. And then mage mastery. All that's she's got a lot of skills that help out slightly. So yeah, chances are it's going to be Luna, Gladio, Ravis, Noctis, maybe Cindy if you have a high level Cindy. But most of the benefit from Cindy, you can get her benefits without having her equipped, right? So if you activate her and then activate whatever hero you're going to be using, she's going to buff their accessories, the body armor, their weapon. She's going to buff all that, guys, because Cindy's awesome like that. Oh, and the helmet armor, which is Necromantian. So yeah, you can kind of, if you have a Cindy, I would definitely do that before you go to the crystal. Do exactly what I just did, and her buffs, her skill multipliers will apply to whatever hero you then have active. So you just activate her, then activate the hero you're going to attack with. Boom, his his stats are going to be improved tremendously. I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's supposed to be like that, but it's like that. So cool. Yeah, so I talked a little bit about the gear. I like high HP gear. A gear with a lot of HP is it's going to help you out quite a bit. A lot of attack's going to help you out. I really would like to. I need to shift out these accessories. It'd be nice to have Magitech Alpha accessories instead, or even like a Hydreian or Infernian powered up. But I don't have any powered up. So right now, this is my best gear. That's what I'd be going with. Excuse me. Yeah. So, and in terms of gems, I like to go an HP gem, an armor gem, and then an attack, just a troop attack buff gem. And since Shiva's so critical at this point in the game, I pretty much just focus solely on mages, because we're going to have a lot more mages in the crystal. We're attacking the crystal than your other troops. So that's why it's almost all mages and a little bit of cavalry, just because I didn't have enough good mage gems. And one rainbow, because rainbows are really good. So yeah, that's kind of, this is my setup. I think this is a perfect setup. I mean, of course, if you have it powered up more, or if you have, like, if I could replace these, it would be better. But this is a perfect setup for me with what I have. So that's what I went with. And yeah, so in terms of what buffs to use, since I have a Ravis, it would be beneficial to capture some heroes before attacking the crystal. If you have any March-sized buffs, those are going to help you out a lot. You could even use like a Berserker boost and then attack some people, get that max attack boost. Fireworks are good boosts to use. Any March-sized boost is going to help you out a lot. I usually keep on Anti-Scout just so they can't scout my Empire and see what I have. So when you have Anti-Scout, you can't use the certain buffs like HP 20% and the attack 20%. But those aren't so crucial nowadays. They used to be, you know, a lot more useful, but not so much anymore. So now we have our so prior planning prevents piss poor performance. We've got our hero geared. We've got them buffed up. One other buff you want to activate right before your first attack on the crystal. If you have the Arcanium, hopefully you have a Link Strike skill. And I have Noctis's. So right before my attack goes off, I would activate Noctis's. I would apply this enchantment. Get 20k troop HP, 20k troop attack. This is one I would use right once I know the battle is imminent. But I would wait till the last minute to apply this one. If you don't have this one, the ice one is going to be good for assaulting the crystal. You could use that if you have a lot of ice troops. So this is a great one for assaulting the crystal. The lightning one is going to be a good one once you have the crystal captured and you want to put a lot of lightning troops. This is a great one for holding the crystal once you've already captured it. This is just a general all-around decent one to use. Like if you don't have any of the other ones leveled up, this one works. You could use, you know, these are not so great. Actually, I wouldn't use Earth at all. That's not a good one to use. Yeah, I wouldn't use Earth or Fire. It's really just the red one, the ice one, the lightning one, and if you have any limit break skills. Did I say Link Strike earlier? I meant limit break if I did say Link Strike. So yeah, so that's all what I would do. Now we know our heroes set up for battle. We now need to try to capture the crystal, right? So I would teleport in. What troops are best for attacking the crystal? Ideally, let me show you guys. I'll just show you guys what I would send just as a, we'll just use this guy as an example. So pretend this is the crystal. This is the March at the Crystal. Let's pretend I would for sure send your Shiva, because Shiva is, that's what's going to make all the difference. The only reason you may not want to send your Shiva is, well, I just realized something. Let me talk a little bit more about one other thing. When you try to attack the crystal, in my opinion, the best time to attack the crystal is right when it opens, before they can put a lot of troops in it. So like in 2 days, 20 hours, and 13 minutes on the button, that's the best time to attack. Scout it, make sure they don't have any troops in there, and then try to be the first to the crystal. You can capture it without a battle, and then reinforce it as quick as possible. That's what I would recommend if you can get away with, you know, getting there early. A few benefits to that. Number one is you're not going to be taking on the full rally size of whoever's holding the crystal. You'll probably just be going up head to head, one march versus one march, unless they beat you there and then send reinforcement marches really fast. So the reason I brought that up is because what some people do is they'll send their hero with only lightning troops and then just try to get there first. If you send your hero with no Shiva, and the reason why I say no Shiva is Shiva's going to slow down your march a lot. But the scary thing is, if you don't send your Shiva, you run the risk of somebody else speeding in with their Shiva and then hitting you, and then you lose a bunch of lightning troops. So there is a benefit to getting there first, but you need to be paying close attention to if anybody else is trying to race you there. Because if so, if you know that there's going to be a battle right when you get to that crystal, somebody else is coming in that situation, you'll want to send your Shiva. Otherwise, you're probably going to lose if you don't have your Shiva and they do. But yeah, Shiva it's pretty much one of the most important things these days for capturing and holding the crystal is you need a high-level Shiva, or you need somebody to reinforce you with high-level Shivas. So yeah, that's one option. You could send your lightning troops in with your hero, try to get there first, and then reinforce as quick as you can with Shiva and your other troops. If you don't think you're going to get there first, like let's say you're 5 minutes late, you had to apply some last-minute buffs, and somebody else beat you there, and they have a full reinforcement or two in there. In that situation, your ice troops are going to be optimal. Ice troops with Shiva, because battle is inevitable if they already hold it. Yeah, so I would send something like Shiva, my hero, and you want to send. So this is where you have to decide here. What are you willing to lose to capture the crystal? Now, some people aren't afraid of losing 100,000 or a couple 100,000 ice troops or elemental troops just in general. So, I mean, if you're not afraid of losing your ice troops, your best bet is to send all ice for attacking the crystal, because ice troops get a buff when assaulting the crystal. But if you're a little afraid, like, oh, I don't really want to lose all my ice troops, you could just send a couple 100,000 and then a couple 100,000 of a normal T7 troop. So then the next question is, so yeah, you could do something like this. Like, you could send all mages. So yeah, in terms of troop what troop combination's best, Shiva buffs mages so much that chances are your best bet is sending an entire march of mages and then reinforcing with a mix of troops. But if you, if you scout the crystal and you see that they just went all cavalry, in that situation you may not want to send much mages. You might want to go more warrior heavy or cavalry heavy. You just got to play it by ear, see what other people are attacking the crystal with. But if they have a mix, you want to go all mages, because mages get such a good buff from Shiva. So this is probably what I would go in with. I would go in with a decent amount of ice troops and a little buffer to help protect my ice troops, because all these level 7 mages will have to die before my ice troops start dying. The downside of sending these guys, though, is they're going to die a lot easier, so it's going to be more likely to get a defeat by sending, a contingent of normal mages. So you kind of have to decide, am I willing to lose my ice troops? If so, there's a decent chance I'll get a defeat, depending on, exactly how strong the person is holding the crystal, how many troops are in the crystal. One other thing I should say is, when you're going in on the crystal, just be prepared that your hero could be captured if you're not strong enough. Like, if all your troops die and you don't get the victory, your hero is going to be captured. Luckily, in the Age of Shiva, it's a little tougher to have that happen, but it's not completely impossible, because we're going to see this happen here in just a minute. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Let's play. I'm going to play my assault on the crystal, and so I attacked the crystal. I think I went in with all ice troops. Well, we'll see, but yeah. Well, let's just go ahead and play this. Let's watch this, and then we'll get right back to it. There's no troops in it, so if we can get there before he's able to reinforce, because he could in theory put over 1 million troops in there, so we want to try to capture it before he gets all his troops in. So let's do this. So he probably will speed up his troops more than I'm willing to speed up mine right now. No problem. We're going to lose some elementals here, but it's going to be fun. So let's see what he's rocking. He's got pretty good gear. He's got Hydreian gear and some Infernian gear. And what is this? Mage Bane. So just a decent combination of gear. It's not too powered up. So I think my gear is a little bit more powered up. Before I forget though, let's craft the buff from the Arcanium. Oh man, this is exciting. Let's do it. If my game wasn't quite as laggy, this would be a little easier. So we apply the enchantment, and now we are set. Let's see how this goes. So he's go ahead and he's putting quite a bit of troops in it. I'm going to go ahead and scout it just to see what we're up against. Hopefully we can get there before too many troops get the. Oh man, he's really speeding some troops up. This could be bad. Okay, he's already got 875k in there. And a pretty good Astral. So now if we win this, it's not going to be because of troop numbers. It'll be just because of troop buffs. So yeah, I might go ahead and see if I can get some other people to join me here. And 26 seconds. So let's see what we're up against. All right. So 1.3 million with 129k Crown Scars. Behind the Crown Scars, he's got mages, mostly mages. So this could be. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we doesn't look like we quite got it, so we'll have to try again. Oh man, my game is lagging like crazy. Oh, actually we did get it. Okay, cool. Did we? What's going on here? My game is just crazy lagged right now. Okay, so we got the crystal. Let's do this. So now I'm going to go ahead and just load it up with lightning troops, primarily mages. And then we'll check out that battle report. But first, I need to get some troops in here. Now, one thing, notice how we can't speed up other people's marches. But if there's a trick here, guys. If you rally the crystal from a farm account, so that's why I have this account over here, we can rally it. And when you rally it, set an 8-hour, and now other people can speed up your troops to the crystal. So it's just kind of a cool little trick. But real quick, let's put more lightning troops in here. We're going hard, guys. I don't mind losing all my troops. I'm here for battle. We're going hard here, guys. We're going hard. So once I get this thing reinforced, I'll talk through a little bit more about what potentially you could put in the crystal. It'd be nice to get a little bit more cavalry, a little bit more lightning cavalry, but man, my game is lagging right now, isn't it? We're going to have to shut this down and reopen it. Oh man, this is still laggy. Darn. Oh, wait. We might be good after all. So let's see. So I have a pretty decent rally size. Let's see how many troops we got in here. Currently, we've got it maxed. So that's it. It would be nice to get another Shiva in here. So I might withdraw some troops and then let somebody else put their Shiva in the crystal. But notice here, if we come to guild, we can now defend. And so other people can speed up your troops, and this is all because we rallied from this alternate farm account here. So now other people with speed ups can actually speed up my troops to the crystal. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, let's see how this battle report went, because I'm a little surprised that I won that. Oh, I captured his hero. What? What? How about that, guys? Dang. So I don't know what happened here. Let's really try to get to the bottom of this. So he had ice crystal or ice troops in the crystal. Some, mostly crowns guards, some lightning. Wow, I'm surprised it went so well, to be honest. I guess what happened was I sent just really good troops, right? I sent a bunch of ice mages, and my Shiva is just totally decked out for attack. So I guess that's why it went so well. But I'm a little surprised it went that well. To capture a hero from that? Then yeah, so we're going to release this hero. But real quick, I just want to laugh about this. Got to brag a little bit. It's been a while since I've had a nice victory like this. But yeah, I will release it here. I'm not the type to just hang on to heroes unnecessarily. Though it is a nice buff from that hero. Yeah, we're going to release it. Let's do it. Oh, the troops have to return, I guess, before we can get it. That's what I'm guessing. But anyways, yeah, so there's some options. So now we're all in defense mode, right? Alright, guys. So the attacking phase of the crystal is complete. We captured it. We captured a hero in the process. It's kind of cool. One reason it went so well is because I had that limit strike skill from Noctis in the enchant gear. That helped out a ton. The other component is I had, I sent all ice troops. Ice troops are really strong while attacking the crystal, so they hit really hard. And that guy who was holding the crystal, he didn't have any lightning, or not many lightning, and he didn't, just a lot of normal troops. And his hero gear wasn't quite as good as mine. So that's why it went so well. I was just a little bit higher buffed, with a little bit better troop combination. So now that we have the crystal, the idea is what to reinforce it with. Now, if you can, I would get your strongest players to send their Shivas in there. If you can get a couple of reinforcing Shivas, the strongest Shivas in your guild, that's going to help out tremendously. One trick, too, that I highly recommend is if you rally the crystal, so do an 8-hour rally on the crystal from a farm account in a different guild. That will allow other people to speed up your reinforcements to the crystal. But this is kind of huge because I ran out of speed ups. I just burned through all my speed ups and I couldn't speed up my troops to the crystal. Now I did do a rally on the crystal, so you'll be able to see, okay, somebody could speed up my marches, but I couldn't find anybody to speed up my marches. So that was some improper planning on my part. I should have had somebody ready to say, hey, speed up reinforcement marches when we start being attacked on the crystal. That's ultimately why I don't hold the crystal right now, is we were too slow on reinforcing this thing, and the guy, he kept hitting us over and over and over again. So I'll show you the battle reports of us trying to hold the crystal. But in terms of what troops to put in the crystal, you're going to want as many lightning troops in the crystal as you can. Lightning troops, they're going to have an attack buff while defending the crystal. So if you can get as many lightning troops in there as you can, then a lot of people, they'll put in some crowns guards or some sort of guardian to help just protect your elemental troops. But I think in this day and age, I would just say, don't put elemental troops in the crystal if you're afraid to lose them. And just put your best elemental troops in the crystal. So if you have lightning for defense, they're going to do really good. You could put some ice in there. If you have good Shivas, they're going to buff ice troops so much that you can get away with ice troops while in the crystal, as long as you have some Shivas in there. What a lot of people do is they'll do like a buffer of just normal T7, so they'll have, or even T6 lightning or T6 ice troops. But a lot of people, they'll do like a couple 100,000 of normal T7. It's like 100,000 mages, 100,000 cavalry, 100,000 warriors, or some combination. Some people will just do like 100,000 cavalry because cavalry are going to be strong against mage solo marches on you. So, tons of different ways to organize the crystal. It's going to largely depend on what you see coming at you. And when somebody's attacking the crystal, you can see exactly what troop combination they're sending at you. So you might be able to play with the troops before a rally gets to you, because you can't speed up rallies. But on solo marches, they could just speed it up, so you got to be careful if you're going to try to rearrange troops while the solo march is headed towards you. But I would just pay attention. What are they attacking me with? Can I get away with normal T7 troops? The downside of normal T7 is they're going to die easier, and you're going to be more likely to get a defeat on the crystal. So, yeah, I would for sure keep your hero in the crystal and keep Shivas in the crystal and as many lightning and ice as you can. Beyond that, if you have T8 troops, that would be great. I kind of forget the T8's out there, or even T9. There's a couple people with T9 now. T8 troops are great in the crystal. T9 troops are going to kick butt in the crystal too. Mercenary troops, you got to be careful. I know, like, certain mercenary troops actually die before T7 elementals, so you have to be careful if you're putting mercenary troops in there. Like the Kuja and the Tundra, some of them die before T7 or at the same time as T7 troops, even though technically they have a T14 defense. So I would pay attention to that. Another thing to think about is if you're putting Guardians in the crystal, you're kind of susceptible to somebody just trying to whittle away at your Guardians. So they could just keep doing solo marches or just simple mage rallies that they can lose all their mages, and as long as their hero isn't capped, it's not a big deal. They could just whittle away your Guardians. So if you're using Guardians, you have to be kind of like, you have to decide, okay, are these people going to try to wither away my Guardians, or am I fine keeping Guardians there? So yeah, so this was a scenario where our attack on the crystal was effective. If our attack wasn't effective, we then have to resort to rallies on the crystal. So let's say this crystal was up for battle right now. We don't have it, but they have 2 million troops in the crystal. I would really analyze what troops are in the crystal. The first thing I would look at is exactly how many good troops do they have, because it might just be totally hopeless. Like, if they have twice as many good troops as you and their gear's better than yours, it's not even worth trying to take it. But if you think it's pretty evenly matched, or if you can see some holes, like some people, they will only have, like, if they only have, let's say they only have mages in the crystal. That's a scenario where, okay, even though they're stronger than us, we might be able to just do a warrior rally on this crystal, all warriors, and just see what happens. So there are different scenarios that I would really look at the troop combinations in the crystal, try to see if there's any holes to their game. And another thing to think about too, and this is kind of ruthless, but this is what I do. If somebody has a lot of Guardians in the crystal, or they only have elemental troops in the crystal, I'm totally fine just sending marches after marches of mages. And just normal T7 mages. Now, you're not going to win the crystal, but you can wither away other people's elementals and other people's Guardians that way. Especially even if you're doing like a full rally. So let's say I recruit 4 people with me, and I say, hey, we're going to take this crystal at all costs necessary. One thing you could do is just 3 Shivas. So have a bunch of Shivas in your rally. So set a rally, tell them to send only Shivas and mages, and just normal T7 mages, and just do rally after rally, and wither away all their elementals. Not a bad way to go, guys. I mean, it kind of hurts. It's ruthless, right? Like, and it kind of hurts your realm in the long run if you're just killing up tons of elementals. But if your heart is set on capturing the crystal, or maybe this is a crystal in another realm or a neutral realm, that's totally viable. Just keep doing single rallies of mages or mixed rallies, any kind of rally to wither away at your opponent's strengths. And their strengths are going to be their elemental troops in the crystal, or their Guardians in the crystal. So definitely you could do that, guys. That's not a bad way to go. But I did say I was going to show you guys some of these battle reports. So let me show you guys some of these battle reports. Okay, here they are. They're in the saved. So you can see we had quite a few victories, but we were just too slow in the reinforcements, and they eventually got us. But here was the first. This guy tried a solo march on the crystal. He first did one without his hero, I think just to see how it would go probably. Or maybe he was gearing up his hero and he figured, hey, I'll send in a march, see what happens first. So this was a pretty successful march, as you can see on our end for defense. He just set normal T7, and I think we did have a little buffer of normal T7 troops. Oh, you can see here the Kucha Dominators died at the same time as normal T7, so that's kind of strange, but that's the way it is. So yeah, this attack went pretty well. We had mostly, I think we had almost all lightning and ice troops in the crystal, with 3 Shivas, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that was a successful march, or successful defense on our end. He then attacked again, kind of a similar march, except for he sent ice troops this time. Oh, actually no, same thing. Same thing. One of these he sent. Probably this one. Okay, so this time he sent his hero. He sent 50k Crowns Guards and a bunch of ice troops. We had another success, except for he did slowly wither down a lot of our decent troops. A lot of our ice troops, a lot of our lightning troops. Yeah, this was a pretty solid attack on his part. Even though he lost a lot, it was an effective attack because we weren't able to replace these troops quick enough. So then we were down to 820,000. He hit us again, and it was a very similar battle report here, right? We lost another almost 400,000, all elementals, and he lost a lot of elementals in this attack too. But, you know, he was willing to lose a lot of ice troops. He has pretty high pretty high expansions in general, so he can replace his ice troops pretty easily. So it's not too big of a deal for him to lose a couple 100,000. Then he came at us again, similar thing. We're about out of troops now. The reason we still killed so many is because our Shivas are so good, and we just had good troops left in the crystal. So this was another march. We're slowly getting withered down, and I had reinforcement marches on the way, but I couldn't find anybody to speed them up, and like I said, I was out of speed ups. So he hit us again, and I think this one, oh, this was actually another victory. We only had 85,000, but we still had off another run. I think he didn't send ice this time. He just sent normal troops. But yeah, we have no troops in the crystal. So he got off one last attack. We sped up. I think we got some reinforcements in there, but it wasn't enough. It was too little, too late. And he came in with all ice. So he came in hot, captured it. And that was that. Yeah, guys, so really what we did wrong here is we didn't have enough people in our guild ready to speed up the marches to defend the crystal. That's where we went wrong. If we were a little bit better about that, I think we could have held it. I think we could have held it. He would have had to have recruited people to rally with him to capture it. But, you know, that's okay. One thing that hurt us is we had captured the crystal, and it was like 4 hours later that he came in with these marches. So a lot of people kind of lost enthusiasm for the crystal. You know, by that point, you got to keep a contingent ready for 12 hours to keep the hold of the crystal. And, you know, in reverse, if you don't have the crystal, it's good to kind of do prides, you know, like prod, see, maybe send some fake marches at the crystal, recall it right before it hits, try to get them to use some buffs. There's tons of little tactics you can use. You can do a lot of fake rallies, just like do a rally, make them think you're coming at him. Again, he's going to apply some buffs, and then just cancel the rally before it hits. Wait till his buffs wear off, and then go back again. You got 12 hours to make this happen, guys. So, you know, take advantage of that time. Try to use the element of surprise. If you can, depending on how sneaky you are, you could try to befriend the people who normally capture the crystal. And with a farm account or another account that they don't know is yours, you can see when they're online, when they're offline, and just attack when they're offline. You could do that. There's tons of different tactics, you know, mostly ruthless tactics, but that's what I know best. Yeah, so I think that covers most of Crystal Battles. Yeah, I think that's about everything, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Hope if you have any tactics I didn't mention, leave a comment about it. And yeah, capture some crystal, guys. It's fun. It's always fun going for the crystal. It kind of unifies everybody. There isn't much benefit to capturing the crystal other than the pride and the fun component of it. You can give out titles. The titles aren't all that great. Probably the best title is there is a 20% MP buff. So the chosen one will give you an MP buff, 20% max MP. So that's great for people leveling up their heroes, but none of the others are all that great in this day and age. In younger realms, they're still good, but not so much in the old realms. It's pretty much just for pride, for fun, and yeah, for just getting some good battles. So that's it for today, guys. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.